SLS Repair or Remove. If you guys have been watching Bring a Trailer recently, there was an 82 300 TD on there, silver on blue, very nice car, rebuilt engine, rebuilt transmission. And I personally chimed in on the discussion because my buddy Tom Pierre from Connecticut, from Rhode Island, asked me to assess the car. So when I went on there were a number of things I loved about the car, but the car itself had the SLS removed. And so I asked the seller forwardly why they removed the SLS, and he really didn't give me an answer. And when I don't get an answer about something that's been altered or modified, the real truth is that the person working on it may not have been able to repair it. Now, I'm not trying to knock anyone or make fun of them, but there's plenty of information out there on many of the Mercedes forums, such as Benz World and Pelican Parts, as to how to rebuild an SLS valve. As far as parts availability goes, there are still, even though Mercedes doesn't have them, Sox is still making SLS shocks for the 300 TD wagons and similar cars equipped with the system. Now, personally, I feel that a car should be maintained in its original condition, but let's look at SLS objectively and see why it's such a great system on the 123 wagons. I like SLS because in my station wagon, I was able to carry 600 to 800 pounds in the rear without the car flinching. One time I even carried an M110 engine with me. Next, I like the system because it allows you to be able to drive the 300 TD like a sports car. It really does fix the handling of the car. And on a 560 SEC and a 560 SEL, it really makes the big car handle like a much smaller car. Third of all, I like the system because it's an analog system that helps adjust load. No fancy electronically controlled suspension here. It's a total feedback system that continuously adjusts, but it's also a fully mechanical and hydraulic system, which is just wonderful. Fourth, it's extremely simple. There's a leveling valve you can rebuild, 2 hydraulic shocks, and a hydraulic pump. Both the hydraulic pump and the leveling valve are serviceable. The hydraulic shocks, I have seen some attempts to service them, and I think that these are going to get better in the future, but they have a ball joint in the bottom that wears out and can cause a clunking noise. So these are good things about SLS. There are some cons about SLS that some people don't like. For example, some of the parts are expensive. The hydraulic leveling valve kit, though, is only $42, and the shocks at their last price were $130 each from Mercedes. It requires a little bit of know-how to service, which knowledge is an impediment for many people, no matter what you're doing. And if we were all smart, we'd all be rocket scientists or doctors or litigators or, I don't know, if we were all that smart, we'd probably have figured out many amazing things. But the point is that SLS is not really that difficult to repair. Now, I have heard complaints about it clunking too much on 126s. In this case, Mercedes updated the mounting buffers for the shocks where they screw into the body, and you just put 2 new buffers in, which are like $4.50 a piece, and it takes 2 to 3 hours, and you're done, and the SLS works much better. Okay, enough blabbering about SLS, though. I would love to see what your opinions were on this 82 300 TD, and its selling price, $12,750, looked like for such a nice car, there was still room to make the improvements that were needed. So, to the new owner, I hope you put the SLS back, and I'm sure if you were to contact me and you're watching this, there are plenty of resources that we could connect you with to put SLS back in this beautiful 300 TD. And in the meantime, if you have any questions about how SLS actually works, drop us a line. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell so that you get notifications from us. And enjoy driving your Mercedes Benz.